Clemice Peter, now you can start to speak on the topic, please.
Okay. Yeah, so good morning to everybody, and thank you for having me here again after a long time. And to start today's conversation, I would like to clarify some things first, which is, to my understanding, this is not to be a lecture, which is not somebody teaching anybody. We are going to share understandings and as far as we can see. So it is not about somebody giving a lecture. I am going to talk from my experience and all that. So I have been exploring Krishnamurti teachings for many years now, almost 20 years. And I also have been exploring Ramana Maharshi's teachings, Nisargadatta Maharaj's teachings, Narayana Guru's teachings. So I am not focusing only in one teaching, because to me, all these teachings, they come from the same source. And I feel it is important to look at everything so that we can have a broader view. So to start, I think this is important to say. And the topic that we are going to talk about today is stepping out of the stream, which was something that Krishnamurti talked about. So we are going to talk mostly having in view Krishnamurti's teachings. So first of all, it is important that we also understand that when Krishnamurti is talking, when he is saying something, like he says many times, the importance about how do we listen, how do we approach anything. So I think this is a very important topic, that we learn how to listen and how to approach. Because most of the time, what do? We approach any teaching with our own background, with what we already think we know. So when we read something that Krishnamurti says, or anybody says, the Bible says, the Quran says, or any other teaching says, we read it, and immediately whatever we think we know comes in between, and we mix it, and from that we draw a conclusion and we say, I understood. So it's important that we have this in mind all the time, that our mind, as long as we have this division, this duality in us, which means me and others, this is how it is meant, that this is how it is going to be. If we like it or not, if we think it can be different, it doesn't matter. That's how it is, because that's the nature of the mind. So keeping this in mind, when we look at this question that Krishnamurti says, stepping out of the stream. So the first thing that we have to look at is, what does he mean by the stream? What is this stream that he's talking about? So when Krishnamurti talks about the stream, he's talking about the whole human psyche. And another thing I would like to say is that I am talking from my understanding and from my perspective. So if somebody doesn't agree with it, that's okay, that's perfectly all right. And we can talk it over after some time. I will talk for some minutes, and then after that we open for other people to also talk about it. And that time we can then discuss it. So when Krishnamurti talks about stepping out of the stream, he's talking about letting go of all the known, all that we have known so far, which means all our conclusions, all our knowledge, all our beliefs, everything. So to step out of the human condition, of the human psyche. So he also talks about conditioning. So he says, our mind is conditioned. So what does that mean? We are conditioned. So to step out of the stream means to step out of this conditioning mode. So to be unconditioned, to be free of all conditioning. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is this conditioning, the human conditioning. See, when we take when the scientist wants to make an experiment in a laboratory, they take a small rat to condition him. They give them food in one corner, and another corner there is a bottom. If they press that bottom, they get a shock. So the rat gets conditioned. This corner I get food, that corner I get a shock. So soon he doesn't go to the corner where he gets a shock anymore. So that is conditioning. So human beings, in the same way, we are also conditioned like that. We may not like this kind of comparison, but if you look at it really, all our answers, all our reactions, they come from this conditioning. If somebody tells me you are ugly, I may not, this may not say anything to me. I don't care if people think I'm ugly or beautiful. But if somebody tells me you are stupid, you are dumb, then I may feel irritated and angry because that is a value for me. I have learned at some point in my life that to be dumb, to be stupid is something that people will not respect you then. So for me, that's a value. And if somebody touches that value, it irritates because for me, I want to be seen as an intelligent person. So in many ways, we have many such things that we like, that for us is a value, that we want to be seen as that. And we have many things that we don't care if people think whatever they think, it's not a value for us. So these values, they come through education, through social culture, the country in which we are brought up, the culture in which we are, uh, in which we grow. So that culture will tell us what is desirable and what is not desirable, what we should avoid. So that creates this conditioning in the same way that the rat also is conditioned in the laboratory. So to come out of this conditioning that we have already acquired through education, through social interactions, and all of that, first thing, we need to understand what is our conditioning, what are our values, what do we value so much, and question those values. But this is the difficult part, because to know ourselves, to look at ourselves, is not an easy thing. It is not something that we even like to do, because when we look at ourselves, we will see many things that we hide from others and from ourselves. Behaviors that we have acquired through this conditioning. So somebody used to hit me in the school, and then to pretend everything is fine, my brain developed a way of become uh, the person who pretends everything is fine, but inside it's not fine. So this kind of, this lack of aloofness, this aloofness starts to come. So when we start to look at ourselves and we start to relate to this, the reality that is going on within us, all the tricks that our mind has developed, all the ways that we have developed in order to survive mentally healthy in a very mentally sick society. So we have developed a lot of such triggers. So to see all them, to be aware of all of them, requires not only attention, but also it requires a lot of willingness and the need to see that this is an important step and that this is an important thing to do. Otherwise, we won't do it. because it is painful, it is difficult, it creates many problems, because once you start to see all those things start not to make sense anymore. So you won't behave as you used to behave. And people around you may not. So our relationships, they become threatened by this awareness. And sometimes we are not really willing to let go. Some people, we are not willing to let go our comfortable nest that we have built through the years, through all of this learning how to behave, how to fit in, for so to say. So to become aware of all of these small things that we have learned how to fit in means that we are now may not fit in. And then we may become afraid of what will happen. And so how do we manage to be aware of it and knowing that we may not fit in? So all of these things may come once we start to look at ourselves, these fears of what will happen if I don't fit in and all of this. But all of this is also part of the same conditioning that has created all of these behaviors, that has created all of these needs to fit in. Because somehow we have been believing that it is very important to fit in. But if we really look at what happens, we never fit in. There is no way that we can fit in into a society, because we are never really truly adjusted, really truly happy in it. We manage to go along with it, but truly happy and truly fitting in, it doesn't happen. So it is important that we understand this first. So to step out of the stream, as Krishnamurti says, is important that we understand what is meant by this stream. And the next thing is that the understanding of how all of this stream came about, because the stream is not different from me. I am the stream. There is no difference from me and the stream. So who is going to step out of the stream? So if I am the stream, I cannot step out of the stream. Something else has to happen. It is not a question of, okay, it's not something that, okay, I understand now, I am going to do it. I am going to step out. I am going to make the decision and come out of it. That's not how it is, because the stream and me are one and the same thing. So it is a subtle process, which is not about decision. It is not the one who comes out of the stream is not the one who lives in the stream, because the one who lives in the stream is the stream itself. So the stepping out of the stream means a complete transformation of the human psyche. So there is the stream, which is the human behavior and the human psyche, and there is something else which in the spiritual world people call the other shore, or something like that. So the other shore, which is different from the human psyche, is not the same. We cannot think that we will step out and at the other shore we will behave in the same way as we have been behaving, because it is something completely different from this. And another thing is, we cannot think that we can be at the other shore and at the same time still be in this same, let's call it the same world that we have been used to, the comfortableness that we have created for ourselves. So which means our beliefs, our behaviors, our responses to the world, our reactions. So it's a completely different. So when we approach this, what we call spirituality, with this kind of thinking, I am going to learn, I am going to do it, I am going to step out of the stream, I am going to become enlightened, or whichever word one may like to use, that I that thinks it is going to acquire something, it is not going to survive the process. So the process of stepping out is a process of letting go everything, including our own self, what we understand to be ourselves. So if for me certain values are very important and I start questioning these values, I have to understand that these values will not survive to the other shore, whatever value they may be. Whatever knowledge I acquired and I am having in this reactive way of life, they are not going to survive the process of stepping out. So to let go all of it, one has to have a completely different approach to what we call spiritual teachings. So when we look at any teaching, when we go to school, we learn and we understand that year by year, I am going to go up and up and up and up and go higher and higher in my understanding and in my education. So when we come to this spiritual teaching, we come with that same mentality that the more I read, the more I listen to talks, the more I do sadhana or something else, the more, or any other kind of practice, the more I am going to go up and up and up into this spiritual realm. But those things are completely different, because in the spiritual world, this mentality of acquiring, this mentality of hierarchical process, the more I learn, the more I know, and those who have not learned so much don't know so much, that kind of hierarchical approach doesn't survive to the other shore. So everything that we have understood and the way we relate to everything has to be questioned. It won't survive the process, none of it. That does not mean that now we have to immediately start to imagine, so then how is it at the other shore? We don't know. Nobody knows until one is there. There is no way the mind can come up with a version of something that is beyond itself. And that has been one of the problems, because we have created a human mind through the centuries, have created so many versions of what it means to be enlightened, that almost everybody thinks he knows or she knows what it means to be enlightened. We think we know how an enlightened being should behave. We think we know how a person who has crossed this jungle of human consciousness, now how that person does things. And the most interesting thing is that we think that there are the most bizarre ideas about this. I myself have heard the most strange things about how a person that walks through this and completes the process of stepping out of the stream, what that person should be or should behave. So all of this understanding, all of this knowledge, we may have read it in books, we may have come to know about somebody who told us. Anyway, all of this has no value when it comes to real day-to-day walking the path of this transition, this transformation of human psyche. So it is not something that comes lightly. It is not something that comes by reading or that it comes by knowledge. It really needs experiencing in life. One has to go through it. You see, we can sit and read all the books in the world. At the end, we may have a lot of book knowledge, that's all. But experiencing is different. Letting go of something is not easy for anybody. Letting go something that you really value, that you really believe it's something important. Letting go of that is not easy. And that is part of the process. To let go, to completely. But this is also not a mental process. It's not something that you decide, okay, then from now onwards, I will let go everything. And the mind starts to become aloof and say, I don't mind anything. I don't care for this body anymore because this is just a material thing. So that's not it. That again is the mind coming up with the idea of how it is to be and how this process should be. But the real process, you cannot know how it is going to be. You can only experience it when it is happening. So too much of exploring into what should be and how it may be, it doesn't help either. And we also have to be careful that we don't become too much mental. Mental means intellectual, having explanations for everything and being satisfied with those explanations and feeling, oh, I am understanding. So as long as we feel I am understanding, we have to question that understanding, because this I who is understanding, that is part of the conditioned mind. And especially if that understanding is being carried over for tomorrow's day-to-day life. So I have understand. I give an example. Otherwise, it becomes too in the air. For instance, if I read a lot of Krishnamurti, I have read a lot. I have listened to his talks a lot. And I every day I feel he was such a unique teacher. So when he says, he says many things that we don't understand. And to create and to create a reaction about that. For instance, when he says there is no teacher, there is no guru, there is no this, there is no that. He's saying something because he saw something. We don't see what he saw. If we just repeat that, it has no, and then what happens if we just repeat that? It's a very dangerous thing, because then we become against. For instance, we come against the people who call themselves guru. And then again, we create this reaction in the mind, which is all part of the conditioned mind. So even reading something that is true can create illusion, can create untrue. So to say that, we have to understand what he's talking about. We have to see the same thing as he saw. And the next thing is, without understanding where he's coming from and what he's seeing, just repeating creates antagonism and creates enmity, which is again part of the same human structure that we have been having all along human history. That has always been the Christians against the Muslims against the Hindus, and so on and so forth, and the Jews against everybody. So that has been the human history. So to create this idea of against this or against that, I'm sure that was not Krishnamurti's idea. He was pointing to something that is very valuable and very precious. But to understand that, we really have to dedicate our, not immediately jump into a conclusion and say, okay, this is to be against all of this. So then we are back into the same old way of thinking, in the same old way of behaving as always, and it is not going to bring us anywhere. So to step out of this human consciousness means even to let go of all the teachings and all the understandings and all the knowledge we have acquired from anybody, be it the Buddha, be it Krishnamurti, be it Jesus Christ, be it anybody. So it is Krishnamurti and the Buddha, they used to say you have to stand completely, you have to be a light to yourself, which means you have to stand completely alone. Completely alone means let go of all knowledge. Let go of all the teachings and teachers. But this is not something easy to do. Can we do it immediately, right now? Very difficult to do. And I don't think that's the way also, because that again is a reaction. So the whole thing is about understanding and not about coming to conclusions. Because the moment we come to a conclusion, we are back into the same old way of thinking that has not helped us, that has not helped humanity to come out of this violence and aggressiveness that has been the trace of human race on earth. So one against the other, creating enmity because somebody said this and now you are saying the opposite. So immediately I react to that. So to let go all of this, to let go all of my certainties, to let go of all the things that I believe deeply, that also means let go Krishnamurti teachings. Can we do that? Let go of any teaching. I am saying Krishnamurti because most of the people in this group are Krishnamurti not followers, but people who like to read Krishnamurti, because to say somebody's Krishnamurti follower is again something that goes completely, that was not what he was trying to do. He was trying to wake us up from this process of following. So to come to this point when we can let go, when we can walk without crutches, when we can walk without signs telling us what to do, where to go, when we are ready to step into the unknown, which means we don't know what will happen. We may do something and we don't know what will be the result of that. And we are also not concerned with that, because we are not looking for results anymore. Whatever the result may be, it's fine. It is just the same. To come to that point, it is not something that we come through using the same old ways that we have been using, which is accumulating knowledge, creating jargons, and thinking, I know, I have understood. So every time we think, I have understood, we should question that. We should question that understanding. We should question that knowledge. Leave it open. We have to understand something. Of course, the mind works like that. But we should not hold on to that. We should not think, I know, I understood, because I have read so-and-so said that. Buddha said that. Jesus Christ is saying that. Krishnamurti said that. Ramana Maharshi is saying that. They have said it, but I have not understood what they have said. That is something very important to keep in mind. For instance, when I started to study Ramana Maharshi, I had a huge difficulty to understand when he says, who am I? how to use this who am I? Because what does that mean? So it took me, I don't know, long time to understand that that is a question that you make and you don't wait for an answer. You are not expecting an answer. It is an open question that is meant to show you who you are not and not who you are. So this question is meant to show you who you are not. Because who we really are, we cannot really know. It's not knowable. Anyhow, so what I'm trying to say with this example of who am I is that instead of immediately coming to a conclusion, because the mind is used to that, to create conclusions and then operate from those conclusions. So to understand that that is how it works, and that's fine. That's the nature of the thing. We cannot do anything about it. It's not wrong or anything, but we have to be aware that that is the way it works, and that way has brought us to the situation that we are today. Not as a person, but as a humanity, creating wars, trying to dominate others, trying to overpower others, be it by force of fight, of destruction, or be it for the force of money. So to understand that this kind of way of relating to things is very destructive, and to see the urgency of coming out of it is fundamental so that we start the walk, so that we start. And when we start to fall apart, we don't try to step back. Because as the process unfolds, it is not an easy process. So many times one feels, gee, why did I even started this thing? But when we see that there is no other way, because the way we are, the way humanity is behaving, the way that we relate to each other, the way that we relate to everything is very destructive. And we have to come out of it. There has to be another way to live. There has to be another way to relate to each other, in which we care for each other, in which there is respect for each other, in which we are not trying to overpower anybody, in which we are not trying to dominate people and tell them how to behave and how to live their lives. So this has been going on for long time. We don't even know how long. The fact is that humanity has walked this way, and it has not brought us to a good place. So it's important that we understand that it's really, it's urgent that we come out of this. So I think we can open space for people to also give their contribution, because as I said in the beginning, this is not meant to be a speech. This is not meant to be a lecture, because I don't believe in those things. I believe that we have to learn to walk together and to exchange and learn to do that in a more. So here somebody is saying that at the end of the speech, a small introduction may be useful for new joiners. So shall I myself introduce myself, Shushil?
Yes, if you wanted to do that, please go ahead.
Yeah. So for those who don't know me much, my name is Clemice. I am from Brazil, but I have been in India for 13, 14 years now. And I came to India attracted by Krishnamurti's teachings, who have always had a huge influence in my search in this spiritual world. But after coming to India, I came also to know about Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, Narayana Guru, which are also influencing and not influencing. Influence is not a good word, but I have also been exploring into their teachings also, because to my understanding, these four teachers, as far as I can see, they are saying the exactly same thing in different ways. And it is important for us to see other teachings who are saying the same thing, but in different ways, so that we exercise our mind. Otherwise, we become kind of, we become like only one direction. And that also conditions. So I think that is a good introduction, and that's about all I have to say about myself. So we can open
Thank
for
you.
other people.
Thank you very much. Harshad sir, would you please like to say something? And then Pradeep ji,
Yes.
please.
Thank you, Clemice. Yes, it is very clear what you are saying about to stand alone, not go with the stream. And when I came to know about this title, I had the image of the soldiers are marching like a stream going, and one of the soldiers, he comes out and he says, I don't want to live by killing and getting killed. There may be a different way of living than fighting and killing. So that was for that soldier the stepping out from stream. It means not to do what everybody else is doing, and that is considered to be good, a kind of a social morality. So that is why Krishnaji said to fit into the Sikh society is not a sign of health. So to step out from this conditioning, first I think we have to know, and most of us we don't know that we are conditioned. I myself came to know only when I went to America and came across the book of Krishnamurti, and then he was asking questions, and he was asking, why do you think of yourself as Indian or a Hindu? And then I felt that yes, I had not asked such questions, and it was affecting me because I was thinking of myself as an Indian and Hindu. I was not able to relate with people of other nationality and religion. So this conditioning, we are not aware, and we can become aware if we are lucky. And then there is a possibility of change. So to come out from the stream is not easy, and it requires the inner strength, clarity, and uh, not worry about what other people they make comments on you. And that is what Krishnamurti came out also from the organization, because he knew that it was not the right way to go to become a world teacher. So same way it was with Buddha. He could have lived a very happy life in the palace as a prince and then as a king, and he had a beautiful wife. But he knew that it doesn't go very far to become powerful and have a lot of money and pleasures. And finally, we are going to become old and disease and death. So we need to think a little bit about what is our final aim. Our, the real aim of spirituality is to be very, very clear. And not follow anyone, not follow Krishnamurti or Buddha, but they said be a light to yourself. So we need to doubt also something what Krishna ji says. It may not be true. It may be true for him, but it may not be true for us. So this ability to question, to listen, and then meditate on that and to find clarity, that is what real spirituality is. And so, yes, I can give many examples of people who have stepped out, but I think it's not necessary. Um, I myself have been kind of not so much into society and wanting to become rich and famous. I could have become, but I find that to live happily with clarity, with love, peace, beauty, these are much more real treasure is buried within us and it is not coming from outside. So stepping out means to find real clarity within us and live a very happy, healthy, creative life every day. Okay, I have finished. Thank you.
Pradeep ji.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Very good morning to all my friends. Clemice, thank you very much because you spoke so well, very well, heartfully and mindfully. So your heart was in your mind. I could see that. How I have taken this topic, stepping out of the stream. Stream you are talking about is the stream of the river of consciousness. Now, immediately you will recall what when he said freedom from the past, coming out of the past, psychologically speaking, of course. Then he also talked about if self is there, there cannot be freedom or you can never be free. So coming out of the self, the same thing is that coming out of the self, the prison. So these things came to my mind when I took up this topic in my mind. And you will find that when we have understood one message really clearly, properly, with the right approach, you can enjoy the different expressions different authorities or celebrities or different seers have given to the same truth, because truth is one only. Clemice talked about expression, experiencing. Yes, it is experiencing, but I will say this is experiential learning. If learning goes with it, experience doesn't become something knowledge. You see, invariably miracles or you listen about so many things from somebody, then it becomes knowledge. It can never be that miracle which he might have or he might not have gone through. So this is experiential learning, and we can learn only when we don't know. We are empty with our empty vessel, ready to listen everything, see everything. So this is very approach she talked about, and it is very important. Somebody was in the chat. I saw whether what can be done about it to get this out of the stream. So no effort can help us in this way. No effort can help us. Only seeing alone. Seeing means perception. Only perception, which is action. If you perceive something with all your senses, with all you have, intelligence, then things happen. You don't have to do anything. This is what I feel. Thank you, friends. I have taken enough time. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Prasad, sir.
Can
Prasad,
I
sir.
just, can I
Oh,
just
sorry.
say,
So please, Clemice, go ahead, please.
yeah. Pradeep, you said something about freedom from the past, right? I will just say something about that because you see, I have seen many people, they think that to move without past means you just forget everything you did, everything that happened, and you go ahead. So I don't think that's what is meant by this.
Yes.
When we say we are in the present, means everything is there, including the past. The past, the present, and the future, they are one, they are
Yes.
all present in the present. So
Yes.
you cannot just do anything and tomorrow it's like you never did anything. It's not like that. That whatever you did will be part of your system and it is there with you always. So
Yes.
the past is always there, but not as something to be remembered.
Yes.
It's part of you because it becomes part of your being, of whom you are. So it
Yes.
is all connected, it is all together, and it is not something to be remembered, but it is there. It is part of you. You act from there. And another thing that I wanted to comment is when you say no effort. You see, that is another thing because Krishnamurti says no effort. But we also have to remember that Krishnamurti also said very hard work has to be done. So he just uses another word for the same thing because hard work means effort. There comes a time that there is no need for effort. But until that time comes, hard work has to be done. So this hard work means we have to apply ourselves to this discovering, to this inquiry, to this living and not applying, but living and watching and understanding. And so this has to be done. We cannot just sit in a sofa and wait tomorrow to come and say no effort is needed. That's not what he was saying. So hard work is also there.
But
Please go ahead, Pradeep ji. You said but and then stopped.
I think his connection is not.
Sir, can I have a chance to speak?
audible?
Sir,
Yeah.
can I have a chance to speak? I like, my voice is gone, but I'm taking a chance because the lecture is so good. I didn't want to miss my comments. So, the stream, come out of the stream means, yes, come out of so many things for which society stands. Your ambition, your power mongering, all these things. You know, we want to, so many things, secular, I mean, materially, we want so many things. So you have to come out of all those things. That is how I see stream. And past is definitely a part of this stream. Tradition is a part of this stream. Belief, faith, all these things are part of the stream. But I mean, past doesn't mean so you can't obliterate the past. Krishnamurti himself has not obliterated his own past. Functionally, past has to be there. Without, I mean, without my, you can't get out of all teachers means, I mean, we elementary school teachers are there. We can't get rid of all of them, you know. That is not the way we have to interpret it. But what, I mean, I like one comment of Madam, that is, you can't see anything of the other shore. We don't know. Because we don't know, we cannot say, I mean, the conduct of somebody who has crossed the shore should be like this. And Krishnamurti himself doesn't fit into our concepts. Because We don't want to discuss those things, but he doesn't. He has lived life on his terms, but without ego. He had no ego. He he himself said the man doesn't exist. And if you have exchange cudgels with him, it is like punching an empty bag. There is nobody, with whom you can argue. And stepping, and then, yes, another comment of Madam, which is very interesting, is if I am the stream actually. If I am the stream, I can't, how can I step out of it? So there is no way to step out of it. So what all it means is you have to let go, as she said, let go all those things, your ego, particularly. And Gogote Saab has put one question to Professor Krishna. My ego is the problem. That is the problem for all of us. Ego is the problem. You have to let go your ego. And another thing, to think that Krishnamurti is saying the same thing which others have said is, I think, not correct. Because all the other teachers have spoken about the big self. They say there is a big self. You cannot water it, you cannot destroy it, you cannot burn it, and all that type of thing. Krishnamurti never bothered about that. He confined himself to ordinary, the normal self, the self where you exercise your authority, your power, your money-making attitude, all these things. And then another thing, most of the speakers, most of the teachers have talked about reincarnation, something for the soul. The soul has to continue. Whereas Krishnamurti never said there is reincarnation. He said, your consciousness merges with the human consciousness. That is the stream. And you come out of that stream. That stream contains all these things, ego, power, and all these things. So, about consciousness also, he has never defined consciousness. He said consciousness is only its contents. There is no other definition. Only the contents is the consciousness. So in those respects, I think Krishnaji is different from other teachers. And when, what for us, most of the what other teachers say is only slogans. For example, in Sanskrit, there are so many statements, very basic truths, they call them. But for us, they are only statements. They make no sense. What makes sense is my life, my daily life. And Krishnaji wanted a transformation of that daily life, where there is no sorrow, where you understand the meaning of desire, where you don't waste your life in the pursuit of pleasure, things like that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Can I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. See, I will, you said a lot of things. Most of them I don't remember anymore, the topics, but there is this, the last one that you talked about. Krishnamurti doesn't say about reincarnation. So first of all, I want to say that Ramana Maharshi also doesn't talk about it. Nisargadatta Maharaj also doesn't talk about it. On the contrary, so there are teachers who don't say about it, and I'm sure there are many others, but we are not aware of all of them. And another thing is, you see, we are not here to compare teachings, because this is what we have been doing. The Muslims have compared their teachings with the Hindus, and they say, we are right, you are wrong, everybody is wrong, we are only right. And the Christians have done the same thing, because they say, I don't know, they say that Jesus says, only through me you come to the Father. I don't know if he said that, and we don't know the context in which he said that. But whatever the case be, The fact is that people have hold on to this, and then they think we are the only ones who know, nobody else know. So I am objecting to this only. I am saying every teaching has something to teach us if we know how to look at it. That's what I'm saying. Anything. Just to say something very personal, the other day, I learned something very, very, very precious from a dog. So we cannot say, I did not learn from the dog. I learned from the situation in which a dog was involved. So anything can teach us if we know how to look. And I'm really I love Krishnamurti from the depth of my heart, and I really love his teachings. But I also love many other teachers, and I think that we have to learn to look with the broad mind, and not think that only this is right, everything else is wrong, and everything is helping somebody in some level. Not everybody is ready to let go. Even I'm not sure we are. We are reading Krishnamurti for so long. Are we ready to let go our beliefs? Are we ready to let go Krishnamurti himself? So that's all I'm saying. I am saying we have enough of war and hatred and enmity because we believe something and somebody else believes something else. These are just beliefs, nothing to do with reality, with truth. And we are fighting over this nonsense. That's all I am saying.
Thank you. Amarnath Kulkarni, please.
Thank you, Clemice. There was a clarity in your talk. So I was doing inquiry for last 7 years. So I found the uniqueness of Krishnamurti ji, which you have mentioned, is so all the time we are with the self center. So just you said in the beginning itself. So the difference is created. So that is not there. Even what we are looking, what we call the space itself, is the awareness or the consciousness, and the things which we look, even as he said, the society is our thought itself, even the world. So this was a major change happened when I followed and learned through you as well. Second thing which you are mentioning was like dying. So dying, or who I am not, you cannot live within a day or two, he says, in infinite journey. So the fighting has stopped. So thought itself started understanding. So this self-understanding, it takes long time. Though he tells again and again, you are timeless, timeless. The dimension of timeless has opened up. The moment we stop, or it itself stops by understanding. So what I am not, then the things started happening to me, and the total sphere changes, as you are saying in your lecture. So it itself changes. When I change, the whole world started changing. Regarding reincarnation as well, he says, live in the present moment, it and die to the past. Means you mentioned clearly in one of the lecture I was listening to the Krishna ji. This is a life-changing point and turning point for me. He was saying, stop thought, then suddenly said, no, don't stop the thought. Use the thought where it has to be used. Just like I'm wearing chappal or shoes, I am leaving outside my home and I'm coming. Like when I'm in the society speaking, I know the English conversation, how to talk. All these are thought, are the known or the past. Hardly it's a 0.1 to 1% of uh, what we need. So where it is not needed, step out of it, as you said very much clearly. So I was able to perceive the clarity, the gap between the observer and observed. Similarly, we think and don't do. The major impact happened. Even you are learning through us, which he says, no teacher has said like this: at present, I am learning. Teacher is learning more than the student. If you keep about the teacher and the student apart, there's an infinite learning, as you said, from the dog, even from everyone. So I see there is no center. Second thing is it's infinite and it cannot be touched by the thought or the experience or the memory which we feel. That may be useful. It may be expressing through this instrument. So this is an instrument, including normally, usually, previously, as I am a doctor, thought means I take as a brain, there is a something else in the brain, one thought is coming. But it's not. He says it's a universal consciousness or universal thought or a mind. So including the energy, if I'm seeing my energy flow or the thought flow, how it is distorting everything. I tell one thing, do other thing, and talk third thing. This conditioning, if I observe continuously, even now also, so that completely changes. It gives a different type of feeling or emotion which cannot be told or used by words or the images. So immediately it stopped. The most important thing which you mentioned and which is to my heart is you pour your everything, whole life as a hard work, whole life, full attention, the amount of love. You are telling the answers. I'm able to see the amount of love in your heart pouring like just like a sea, pouring the things which cannot be seen, which can be only felt. Thank you very much.
Clemice, do you want to comment on it?
Yeah, I had something to comment, but now it's kind of slipping away. But you see, this whole thing about he said something in the beginning of his comments. This whole thing about learning with everything. We can only learn with everything if when we are free from our own concepts and our own philosophical understanding and our own conceptual ideas. Because if not, those things come in between. He says we say something and we do something else. That is because we may have a very beautiful discourse, but when it comes to action, our philosophical understanding of life comes in between, and I don't act according to what I was talking before. You know, my prejudice comes in between. For instance, I can have a beautiful discourse about love and all of that, and we are all one, humanity is one, and all of this. But when somebody comes in front of me, which I feel it's less, for instance, this very idea of thinking another human being is less than me is already, it's already a horrible thing, because who says so? Where does this idea comes from? All human beings stand, we don't say that when it comes to cows and dogs and flowers and all that. We understand each one has a unique expression. So when another person comes in front of me, then I already feel, no, this person, I can be good, but only for those who deserve it. So my judgment comes in between. So I may have a beautiful discourse about love and humanitarian actions and all that, but in reality, when it comes for action, my prejudice comes in between. So until all of this is cleared out, it will happen. Until we have nothing left, no prejudice, no conceptual understanding about life, how it should be, how it should not be, how people should behave, and all of that.
Thank you. I learned is the life, teaching, learning, and living, all four are happening simultaneously, as you said.
Mm.
And it will take time as well. No hurry.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, may I make a comment?
Please, Harshad sir, go ahead.
Yes, I think different teachers, they use different language, but one has to go under the words they use. And we just, I think people who are interested in Krishnamurti, they react to the word true self. And they said Krishnaji said there is no true self, and Buddha also said no true self. But that word true self is equivalent to this choiceless awareness or intelligence. That is what they are pointing out, that there is a dimension within us which is beyond thinking and feeling. And that dimension, this traditional teacher call it true self, and Krishnamurti and the modern teacher may call it awareness or intelligence or so. So each teacher is different, their language is different. Some teachers give a lot of importance to intellect, like Krishnaji, and some teachers they give a lot of importance to surrendering oneself, like a devotion. So it's a vast spectrum of spirituality, and if we are stuck with only one teacher and his terminology, and then try to understand other teacher with those fixed terminology, then we don't understand other human beings, and we isolate ourselves in a kind of a group called Krishnamurti group, which cannot mix with any other group. So that is the problem people are facing when they get so much attached to the words, ideas, make concepts out of Krishnamurti's teachings and try to follow such concepts. Then it creates a lot of difficulties in understanding other human beings. So one needs a clarity beyond words to understand people of different background, experience, languages. So that is the real challenge. Okay, thank you.
Shakti ji, please go
Yes.
ahead.
मेरी आवाज आ रही है? My voice is
आ
coming?
रही है.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, Krishnamurti talks about stream of consciousness, which has fear, sorrow, pleasure, all that, jealousy. And when somebody asked him what happens after death, at one place he mentions that, you know, this when the body dies, the stream of consciousness carries on. But he says that when you are living, you are also that stream of consciousness. So that was something I wanted to share. Clemice, would you say something about it? Thank you.
So yeah, but what is the question you have about this? Because as I will just tell you what I understand that you say, so you correct me if I'm not understanding properly, okay? See, Krishnamurti says that the stream of the consciousness goes on after the body dies. The same stream of consciousness is there also through the life of the body. So it's the same stream of consciousness through the life and through the death. There is no difference. Only difference is sometimes there is a body, sometimes no body.
Yeah.
So what is the question about that? It seems clear what he said.
In this, how does it this stepping out comes in? You see, stepping out. If I am that stream of consciousness when I am alive, and I am that in stream of consciousness when I am dead, then
when the body is gone, when you are dead, you are out of the stream. Yeah, when the body is gone, that stream goes on. That's what he's saying. And when the body is there, that stream also is there. So, and that stream is the stream of human consciousness. It is not my Clemice's consciousness. It is the human consciousness, right? So it is not an individual little consciousness as we believe it is. It is the human consciousness, is the whole of humanity is flowing through this body. That is a very important thing to understand. That it is not a particular, like we think I am different, I am separate. We believe that. So when he says this, he's saying the stream of human consciousness goes on. And when the body is there, the stream of human consciousness manifests itself through that body also. So stepping out of the stream means the death to that stream, dying to all of this that you said that is in the stream of consciousness, which is pleasure, sadness, happiness, all of it, jealousy, envy, all of it, hope. And the most important thing in what I get from what he's saying is we have to go into this and see, really see that it is not my consciousness. I am not an individual. It is the consciousness, is the stream of human consciousness that goes on and that manifests itself through this body, which now we call Clemice.
Anybody else wanted to ask some question?
Sushilji, can I? Sushilji,
Yeah.
can I have a comment?
Yeah.
That is, that consciousness, as Madam was saying, we all think we are separate. We have separate selves. We are separate. That is our normal assumption. The entire legal code is based on that assumption. Citizens' rights, etc., are all based on that. But then Krishnaji says there is a human consciousness. He stops with the human consciousness, but inwardly, I think he brings in the entire animate and even inanimate world. But normally in his talks, he confines himself to human consciousness. He says the Russian and the American have the same kind of consciousness, basically. There may be differences in language, costume, color, etc. That is the identity, unity of human consciousness. And after death, unless you cleanse your consciousness now, when you are alive, unless you cleanse it, the same thing continues after that death also. You become a part of that stream. That is where I find he is different from other teachers. Other teachers, even Gita, it talks of your soul which is eternal. There is no end to it. There is no concept of a human surviving consciousness, stream of consciousness. You are a criminal and my criminality joins your criminality after my death. Both are adding to the criminality of the world. That is how I see his teaching. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, let me just say something. Prasad, you said that after that, then we become, then only we become part of that stream. We are already that stream. That stream is manifesting through this. To see this, that we are not individuals, that we are this human consciousness. But we are used to think, I am Clemice, I'm very different from everybody else. So I am unique, I am different. In some sense, yes, but as a human being, that is the background of everybody. The human background, the human content, anger, jealousy, envy, the capacity for hate, the capacity for all of that. So to see this, that we are not separate, that is the stepping out. That already is stepping out.
That's exactly what I said, madam.
Yeah. So then I just because I may have not understood properly. So I just clarifying to myself. Thank you.
Is there anybody else wanted to ask something, or should I end it? Saroj Sahu has raised hand, perhaps.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether.
Yes, sir. Yes, I
Saroj
am from
Sahu,
Cuttack. I am regularly following. Yes, sir.
you-
Saroj Sahu, yes, sir.
Yeah.
At Clemice, madam, I would like to point out that at the beginning of her lecture, she said that let go. But who is the process entity to let go? Because the original approach is effortless approach. So letting go means there is some element of self involved. So where does the clarification she stands?
Okay, so your question is, how can I let go? If who is there to let go? Is it? Let's make it simple.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. See, this whole thing about letting go means you cannot really let go because we don't really know what is there holding us. What is we don't know the prison we are in. So that's why we cannot walk out, because we don't know what is holding us back. So this letting go means seeing what is it that is imprisoning you. So this letting go means seeing. Seeing means dropping. We are not dropping because we cannot see it. We are not aware of it. So there is something like, suppose, let's make an example. Suppose you are in a room, dark room, and there is, your feet are tied to a table, but you cannot see the table, and you cannot see that your feet are tied. So you are not aware of it. So how can you ever untie yourself? You cannot, because you are not even aware that you are tied. So in the same way, but the moment somebody switches on the light and you see it, then you know, oh, okay, this is the thing that is keeping me here. So seeing what is it that is holding, what is getting hold on us, why are we not free? That is the letting go.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Shareena, please go ahead. Please unmute, Shareena. Is there any problem in unmuting, Shareena? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Parekh sir, happy to see you after a long time.
Thank you.
Do you remember
Happy to
me?
see you. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
We met in Rishi Valley Mountains.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clemice ma'am, it was really amazing to hear you. You have made us really think deeply of Krishnamurti's teaching. What Krishnamurti said of stepping out of the stream reminds me of the great philosopher Rousseau, who said, society corrupts the individual, the school corrupts the children. That is why we have to teach critical thinking in school. So, Krishnamurti was trying to tell us that the society is already corrupted. It is conditioned, and it is our responsibility to at least save the next generation. That is why he focused so much on his school. And what happened later, he decided to not to take the school seriously, because he thought that what he envisioned was not being actualized through the school. So I don't want to get into all that debate, but I think stepping out of the stream is easier when we teach children the importance of critical thinking. And it is through school we learn lot of habits. The habit of physical injury, which was once part of our schooling culture. At least now that is not there in schools. Happy to see that, but parents still, physically abuse their children. That is a bad thing which should go. And children are not allowed to think freely even at home. So stepping out of the stream should start from school, should start from family. Another thing I want to say is to pursue a path of spirituality. Pursue a path of spirituality itself is stepping out of the stream. Now, in a world where everyone is competing with the other, and school children are taught to compete with other students, somebody like Clemice trying to search truth in her own way and leaving her own country, her own religion, her own culture. She has come all the way from Brazil to India to find the root of what Krishnamurti is trying to say. That itself is stepping out of the stream. How many people can commit to such a path? So that is what I want to say. To observe one's own thought is to question from where the thoughts come from. So when we meditate, when we observe our own thought, we find that we are not the thought. Thought is coming to us. Thought is happening. Or what Ramana Maharshi says, who am I? When we focus, we realize that there is an ego which is functioning within us and which is making us believe that that is we. So Ramana Maharshi says, no, we are not that. We are the self. I have read and heard a lot of Krishnamurti's uh, teachings. I heard him a lot. I have forgotten all that. I must say that I have forgotten all of that, but only one thing remains in me. What remains is the importance he gives to observing our own thoughts. So I think what is important is not carried away by the immensity, the overwhelmingness of his thought, but to focus on the core point. Core point is to observe your own thought, be a witness to one's own thought, and for that you have to be alone. And Krishnamurti says, alone is all in one. To have some time for yourself, to observe nature, to love nature, and to find yourself and find time for yourself. That is also a way of stepping out of the stream. People don't have time for themselves and they never sit alone. They always want to be with others and enjoy, have a happy life, or they are afraid to live alone. And I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You don't want to answer. You don't want to answer or answer from Harshad Parekh himself.
Yeah. I just want to say something. May I?
You are welcome.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Shareena. And see, this whole question about educating children. We also have to understand that the next generation, we are the next generation. There is no such thing like thinking that somebody else will be the next generation, and we have to educate somebody who is going to be the next generation. We are the next generation, we are the past generation, and we are this generation also. So we rather educate ourselves, we rather understand life by ourselves, then only we can dare to talk about teaching anybody, be it a child or be an adult. So the whole thing about teaching is that we bring this word into our own self and start to teaching our own self. And when we come to interaction with children or any other human being, we should not go with this hierarchical idea approach. I am the teacher and I am going to teach you. Rather, we can we learn together. We have so much to learn from children. We have no idea. So, and this is the main thing I wanted to say.
Thank you. Harshad sir, you wanted to say something?
No. Thank you. No.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Paras,
Yes, sir.
please ask
Thank you.
briefly because you
Yeah.
have already written your questions.
Yes, sir. The only question I have is first, thank you, everybody. The question I have is this human consciousness we said manifests through human body. The question comes to mind is why there is a need to manifest for
Yes.
this consciousness as a human body.
You have put it in on the board itself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So,
One thing
Clemice,
can be
do
that.
you want to answer it?
Yeah,
Please be brief.
Yeah, he's
Please answer.
asking why this stream needs a manifestation as human body. Is this the only way to come out of it? Which means every human born out of to get out, but this doesn't happen. See, let's keep to this, why this stream needs a manifestation. See, that I don't think that's a very good question because we don't even know the stream and we are already wanted to go into something that will take us away from the main important question, which is, I am the stream and what is this stream? So after we understand the stream, then we can ask this question.
Thank you very much, Clemice. Should I end it now? Because time is already 2 minutes more, 3 minutes more. So I am ending it. Thank you very much, Clemice. We enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.
Thank you.